I heard you passed away. DOT?
No, really?
Yeah, I just heard her the other day.
Oh, I should ask Wendy. She was working with those guys for a while. Oh, that's too bad.
Okay, we're gonna start tonight's this evening's meeting. I'd like to welcome
Yeah.
everyone in the audience to the Town of Waynesburg Planning Board, June 19th. So we're close to the first day of summer.
Yeah.
Pretty approved it. So, welcome to the meeting. We have agendas that were at the door. The board's got something a little new. Now we have, iPads. I think Lindsay's responsible for getting us these iPads instead of these big heavy notebooks, and those can come to paper, so. Thanks to Lindsay. First thing I do is introduce yourselves. My name is Jeff Schmidt. I'm the chairperson of the Town of Waynesburg Planning Board.
Good evening, I'm Mike Harris, I'm the vice chairperson.
Matt Hoffman, planning board member.
Josh Houghton, planning board member.
Good evening, Elizabeth Novak, planning board member.
Mike Walpole, planning board member.
Lisa Pinkner, White and House Trinity and attorney for the board.
Lindsay Althizer, planning board clerk.
We're missing our code enforcement planning, whatever, he's got about 6 titles, but Chris Parson.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be here, right?
I don't know, he hasn't answered.
Okay. So, with that in mind, the first part of tonight's meeting is what we call the open forum. Allows anyone in the audience to express their concerns to the board on issues of planning or town. Really anything you wanted the board to listen to. So, with that in mind, we ask you to identify yourself by your name and your address within the town or out of town. And we ask that you limit your presentation to just about 4 minutes, and that if there's an item on tonight's agenda that you would like to talk about, please reserve your comments for that portion of tonight's meeting. So with those kind of ground rules, I'll make a motion to open the open forum for the Town of Waynesburg Planning Board, June 19th, 2025 meeting.
And I can second that?
Chairman Schmidt?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris?
Yes.
Board member Hoffman?
Yes.
Board member Houghton?
Yes.
Board member Novak?
Yes.
Board member Walpole?
Yes.
If anyone wants to express some concerns to the board, it's your opportunity right now. Okay, so I'll make a motion to close the open forum for the Town of Waynesburg, June 19th, 2025.
I can second that. So Jeff?
Yes.
Mike, yes. Matt? Yes. Josh?
Yes.
Elizabeth?
Yes.
Mike? Yes. We'll pass it on, so.
Okay. The second item on tonight's agenda is public hearings, and we have no public hearings scheduled for this evening, so we'll move right away to old business. The first item on old business is the Waynesburg EF. That's a cell tower on Chadwick Road, and that item will not be discussed this evening. We're going to defer that to next month, so.
Jeff, I think we have to set the public hearing for the next week.
Want to set the public hearing for that hearing? Okay, all right. The Waynesburg ES has provided also a lot of information, visuals, balloon testing, and all sorts of stuff that's available for review by the public. So with that in mind, I'll make a motion to set the public hearing for the Waynesburg Verizon Tower for our next meeting, which is
July 17th.
July 17th.
Yes.
I'll second.
Yes. Chairman Schmidt?
Yes.
Board member Novak?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris?
Yes.
Board member Hoffman?
Yes.
Board member Houghton?
Yes.
Board member Walpole?
Yes.
Well said.
Yes, I think Seeker is going to.
We'll have the public hearing on July 17th, so if you'd like to express any concern about the cell phone tower construction, that's your opportunity.
And the ZBA issued the use variance in the last meeting.
Okay, yeah.
Just to keep everybody up to date. I think we sent that resolution around, I believe, but Lindsay has it.
Okay, good. So we'll have protocol wise to have that public hearing. I'd say if you want to participate in that, you're more than welcome. The next item under old business is Red Fox Orchard. They're located at 11338 Western Turnpike, special use permit to operate a retail business. The last meeting we were at, we were gonna set the move forward on it, but we had not received anything from county planning. Literally, the
Then
next,
it's there.
the next day, we got something from county planning that basically said they had no issues with the project.
Mhm.
So, I think we're set to go on that, aren't we?
Yeah, I think, well, they made all the comments, they addressed all the comments on the map, so it's just a
Yeah,
matter of.
Yeah, it's just a matter of
Approving.
we couldn't act because we didn't have the county planning approval, and now that we have that. We can move forward.
Was that Red Fox Orchard or,
Red
Yes.
Fox.
Yes.
Yeah.
okay,
The
just,
one
I
that's
just want to
like
make sure.
Ricky Williamsburg. Yep, you guys gonna have a. Stand, yeah.
I don't remember any special.
We asked that they add the parking table, which
Yep.
they did
Okay,
based on, the-
okay,
yeah.
that's in the map.
Yeah, and they need to consult with DOT, which they actually have comment on the map,
Yep.
it's contingent on DOT consulting and approving the parking, so. I think that was all we had asked for, and again, we needed the county referral.
Yeah, so I think it's just a matter of approving this, with the only condition I think that is that they get a DOT.
DOT, yeah.
Let me make that motion.
I make a motion to accept the Red Fox Orchard site plan and special use permit at 11338 Western Turnpike. With the condition that they receive a DOT highway work permit.
Is that an if they have to work on the right away, or do we know they have to? It's only if they have to.
Well, they've got that they're proposing the encroachment.
If they put the parking there, right?
So that's their ideal.
Yes.
And if DOT doesn't give them the work permit, then they're gonna go to the alternate.
Yeah, okay, yeah, thank you.
So my understanding is they're going to go to DOT first.
Yeah.
Unless you guys have a different.
No, that's right. Okay.
Okay.
So, are you good?
I'm good.
All right, I'll second that.
Okay, Board Member Hoffman,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt.
Yes.
Board Member Houghton,
Yes.
Board Member Novak,
Yes,
Board Member Walter.
Yes.
Okay, so. Is there anybody representing Red Fox here?
We're here.
Oh, you're okay. You're set to go. Just,
It was gonna be easy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Wish
you.
you-
Good luck.
Wish you luck, Ed.
Thank you.
It'd be a nice little
Yeah.
thing for the town. Okay. Okay, the next item under old business is Ashley Dawson, which seeks a 2-lot subdivision. I think 2 family homes on it. We've gone through the 4th meeting on this. Gone back and forth on some of the details of the access to the properties. And sent back with some ideas, and so we're here to listen to where you are right now.
It should be a more recent.
These are the most recent. From the email.
Maybe I can pull it up. Because there should be, yeah, I mean, I had it printed out too.
That was the one in the email.
Right. All right, well, let me check.
You know, one on the screen is May 2025.
Yes.
The one that I received the other day said February 5th.
It should have a updated
This is-
revision date.
So this is the one that they walked in with, the lady delivered.
Yes,
This is the newest one.
yes. So there should be a revision date on there with June.
I think it's. Yeah, there is still within the block on the side. Right here, so it's a lot here.
Oh,
See, that's the original usually, and then this.
Okay.
is-
So I believe actually, yeah, I think if you are able to go on your email on that, there should have been an email on June 9th with the latest plans.
Pass around.
It looks, I was gonna say, it looks like it didn't include.
Do you want to just describe it on the screen, because we can see it, and we can pass.
I can.
Do you want to describe it, sorry. for-
So basically, we went back out there, had our surveyors go back out there. Look into, more detail as to what exactly is going on at the curb cut and over here. Because when we initially surveyed this back in 2024, or yeah, it was 2024. We did a boundary survey. We had kind of a general idea based on the GIS mapping of what we wanted to do. Obviously, with this driveway coming over here and just not even really touching this. So we didn't get a whole lot of detail in that area. I wasn't personally there at the time. I've been there since. I know that there's actually more gravel and kind of like a cleared path over this way. So I'm like, okay, we need to reduce our disturbance. And obviously we need to create a situation here where we can have two distinct, legal entries that are, divided. Using this existing curb cut, because obviously where this is at is just, barely at that downhill crest of that hill. And we want to maintain that sight distance over that hill that way. So our surveyors picked up more detail. You can see on that plan, there's actually more gravel over here. We're going to utilize that to reduce the disturbance to create an entrance over here. And we actually have enough room between the edge of the slope here and the retaining wall that's over there to create two 11-foot wide driveways with a 1-foot brick or stone paver divider, which terminates right at the property line. It's gonna be similar to what they do at like townhouses,
Yeah.
where you see, two driveways next to each other.
Yeah.
And, that's what we're proposing.
Right.
And we also did contact DOT. Again, they're okay with that.
Finally, answers to questions.
Yeah, because now, so the point between the two driveways is actually really at where your, because the property line is actually further away from the road.
Yeah, the property line, our proposed property line intersects the right of way right there.
Yeah.
Kind of where they,
Yeah, so right away, it's like what you're like, what, 30, almost like 30, 40 feet or something like that
It's-
more.
yeah, it's maybe 40 feet away.
Okay,
And what's your calculation of the disturbance?
And our disturbance is now about 0.94. I think it's listed on the plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the length of these, I'm assuming you're gonna need a turnaround for the fire department.
So we have, well, I don't know the exact length of the driveway, but we do have kind of an open parking area. Where you could turn around.
That's what 10 inches. Yeah. The first one, it's every 300 feet.
500.
Oh, 500.
Right, and I don't think they're over 500 feet long.
No.
The entire depth of the property is only 390 feet.
Yeah. No, no.
And man, you had some comments last year about the disturbance.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's all different now because they're redoing the driveway, utilizing, so. You'll see it better up here. She's got Lindsay standing up now.
There we go.
I sent it to you guys too. It's on your main page, just under BAW.
I mean, they got 2,600 feet left. Stay under the SWIP. I would say with this being so close and then we go back and forth that they put up a limited disturbance fence for this and they can't encroach beyond it. I just don't know who's gonna enforce that. I mean, it would have to be Chris, right? 'Cause it's not a-
Because it's not a DEC, once you, without a SWIP, you don't have,
Yeah,
they don't.
so if we put a condition of approval that we get an LOD barrier around their proposed 0.94 acres. You know, who's gonna,
It would be the code enforcement officer.
okay,
DEC,
they don't get involved if it's over an acre.
Yeah.
right,
So Chris, is that something if we condition it?
Yeah, again, I'm sorry, I was trying.
If we condition the approval at 0.94 acres
Yeah.
and have them put in a.
Just gotta stake it out. basically.
Limited disturbance area to match this plan. Would you be comfortable going up there and saying, yeah, it's in, you know, they have states?
Yeah.
And they were fencing or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
you know,
They just gotta define the area, that way they're not,
yeah.
they're not disturbing, you know,
Okay.
over that acre.
Yep.
and so there's no need anymore for the easement.
Right.
Since
No,
everything's
correct, yeah.
set. So.
Yeah, because really the two properties split, right, between the two driveways at the right of way,
Yes,
boundary, so.
yeah, you can see it a little bit better here.
Yeah.
That dark
Yeah,
line.
and then in the right of way, they're gonna have two separately defined driveways coming out to the road, out to the curb cut.
And you're having two subdivided, you're having two parcels, each with 2 units on it.
Yes.
I just want to make sure nothing else changed, that's all. Elizabeth, did we, there was an EAF part 1 for the.
There was a part 1, but we did not complete seeker because we weren't sure what the disturbance would be.
Okay,
So I think we can go ahead and set the public hearing. I anticipate, again, without completing the seeker review yet. I don't believe there's any reason this would result in a positive declaration. I suspect it will be a negative declaration, so I feel comfortable going ahead, scheduling the public hearing and I'll complete the seeker of the public hearing.
Josh, you wanna do this?
Did you want to make that motion?
I will make that motion, that we set the public hearing for the Ashley Dawson subdivision for July 17th. With the contingency that they will keep the disturbance under 1 acre and it will be delineated with a fence.
and it's also a special use permit.
Thank you, special use permit and subdivision.
Josh, second.
Oh, sorry. Okay, board member Novak,
Yes.
board member Hutton,
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board member Hoffman.
Yes.
Board member Wolfle.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks.
4 months, we got the.
All right.
We almost to the finish line.
See, I tell you.
Now, Lindsay, where'd you put that in?
The main screen. So where all the
Yeah, so-
ordinances are.
I
No
know, I'm not
cheat sheets.
sure, it's just on the order of the page. If it was worded that.
He's got it. He can do it.
I used to do it.
Listen, if other members could do it, I have high confidence in Jeff.
I like your innovation.
Okay, all right, we're moving on to sketch plan review. Meeting going, so we can enjoy the rest of the evening here. John James is seeking a major 3-lot subdivision. And, can you just tell us what you're doing? Been here for 2 years straight, haven't you?
I'm selling the farm in Albany County and moving to building a house in Schenectady County. Smaller, something I can handle. And still keeping the farmland in Schenectady County, just selling the Albany County. And lot 2, when we took that off, it's only 3.81 acres left, so I thought, well, it's too small for hay fields, so unless we make it a lot and do something with it someday. The rest of it, is where the tower is.
Okay, so the area is the lower left of the two lots.
Yeah, it would be
Yes.
lot one.
Right.
Tower would be in
Oh,
lot
I
one.
see the lot one, okay, yeah.
It'd be around this area.
So right now, lot one, lot two, and lot three are all one big lot.
Yes,
But the road for the cell tower would be right through the middle of lot 2.
yes, it's gonna come right through here. And then and goes into the woods.
The road for lot one does that?
It goes into lot 1, yeah.
So I think.
That's where the tower is.
So I think we need lot one to be on border of the road, right?
Lot one does,
It wraps around.
here,
So the.
Wraps around, Zach's
That's the
through.
wrong
Zach
parcel.
wants it.
Oh, goes up all the way around.
yeah, horseshoes around, so it's got road frontage
Okay.
further to the south.
Got it.
South of, Zach wants.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
but I mean,
So the tower is a lease facility. So, I'm sorry, somebody's gonna have to repeat what I say. The tower is a lease facility, so, we could include a reference to the tower and stuff being there, but at some point, it may no longer be there. That's my only,
but the,
just put a note on there.
yeah, but I mean, the infrastructure for the tower, lease or not, we should still be able to see that because it's gonna impact how this lot 2 has driveways and wells and there's gonna be built infrastructure from the tower on it.
Well, there will be, but then when somebody comes in for a building permit for that house. That's when, remember, this is just a subdivision.
True.
So I don't, it's always up to you guys, but I don't know, if showing it is really, necessary, yeah. Plus, we have all the data on when. So you're gonna be left with 3 lots.
Yes, but it'll still be over 100 acres.
No, I'm just asking. I just want to make sure it was 3 lots. How many, you've got 118 acres in lot 1? Okay.
no,
That's on both sides of the road, though.
lot one is only 6914. And then the piece across the road is. I'm looking on my own app. It's not on this plan.
Is it City Park across the road? Is that?
It's not,
It's not anymore.
It's not.
Because those lots,
The one that you broke out for your granddaughter.
Right.
That piece is,
There's about 55 acres left.
yeah, that's its own parcel though, isn't it?
No,
No,
that's lot 1.
Oh, it's part of the lot.
so then it's gotta be zero.
Because it says on this plan, lot 1 is plus or minus 118.5 acres.
Yeah.
Sticking with you.
Yeah,
I think if you look at that little location map, I think it shows it's on the front wall. I'm assuming the box on the other side of the road is another lot. Or is, I'm sorry, it's the same lot, it's lot one.
like ways, and, hook that here.
below.
Yeah, it's this here.
Yeah, so it's below.
That's a parcel he broke off for his granddaughter.
Yeah.
So it's really, this is like lot 1, gotta be.
So
Yeah.
It's south of, Enders.
Right. Yeah, so the two between both the east and west side of Badwick are all one lot.
Anything around that tower is, there's no access. There'll never be another house in there because there's no way to get to it.
The rest of the remaining lot on this.
I mean, it wouldn't be
Plan.
Yeah.
to show this whole lot. You can't really tell that lot one can be fine, as you just see. You can break it down.
It's got the detail for 2 and 3, but the rest of the remaining one.
One goes all the way up to.
Yeah, yeah, so I think what. I think we need anyways is to show lot 1 in its entirety with the subdivision of 2 and 3.
I mean, he's got the driveways on there, he's got the well on there, he's got the proposed leach field. The curb cut.
Yeah.
You guys declare yourself on this.
No.
Okay.
Just, he wasn't here last.
This is sketch plan.
Yeah, it's easier to see on this, like, when I was spinning there, towards this without the survey showing.
No. No.
Yeah.
It's sketch plan, so no, it's a secret. It's just a review. So it would be unlisted action, Teresa.
Yeah.
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 We can declare ourselves as the lead agency. And I think our only contingencies would be to, we want to see all of lot 1
Yeah.
on the site plan, or any other iterations.
So we'd like to zoom out further so you can see all of lot 1 and how that relates.
What's that?
We would like a plan that shows, like if you zoomed out. So you can see where lot 1 of its entirety.
Yeah, it's got that.
And it could be a smaller, it could be a smaller,
Right.
just another sheet that shows. We like this detail, we want to see further out.
Do you want to show the whole?
The whole lot.
All of,
Yes.
yeah, the whole lot 1 and where that is across the road or whatever.
Right.
Right,
Okay.
So,
We can do that.
great.
I think there's 4 agencies that we usually circulate these to. Well, I'm sorry, DC, County DPW, Schenectady County DOH. SHPO and Schenectady County Planning, because lot 1 enjoys Albany County, plus you've got Chadwick Road, which is a county road.
Yep, okay.
So we'll have to do GML, and when we do the public hearing notices too, we'll have to send it to Albany County.
We have, let's do Department of Agriculture, because
Are we gonna-
are you in an ag district? Is the rest of the farm in the ag district?
Then we need an ag data statement.
Yeah.
That has to go with the Schenectady County Planning.
Got those on.
Yes.
That's why I was thinking that 3.1, 3.81 acres out. So to get it out of the ag is. We don't seem to specify, it's the big brush. And whether it's woods or what, it's there.
Yeah.
You can get the county to adjust that for you.
I tried.
Oh, really? I'm sorry. Steve Feeney's your man. Talk to Steve Feeney.
Yeah. So there you go. So I think we can table this, right?
Did you move from lead agency?
We could move for lead agency and, yeah, unlisted action. It's a sketch plan review, so we could.
You could wait if we don't have the SCA out.
We could not.
Be clear on what you need to do,
Go to the Snyder and get
the whole map,
the whole map.
and you gotta provide your EAF.
From the county to the ag.
Now,
No, we,
Ag data statement and the short environmental assessment form. We can clearly, here, I'll write it down for you. Plus Lindsay will give it to you.
Am I wrong? Because they told me that was, as long as you don't, was it 3/4 of an acre?
You're thinking of a
it's
sweat.
a SWIP.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you don't need a
Lots of
split.
rules.
And it was, and whole remainder lot. Okay.
get it from the office.
Yeah.
Tomorrow,
Yeah.
I'll get over it. Get done. Get it going.
There you go.
So we need a motion to,
Table.
no, motion to accept lead agency.
Yep, we could do that. We don't have to, but we certainly could. So I will make a motion that the town of Waynesburg Planning Board is lead agency for the John James subdivision. And we will table this until the July 17th.
I'll second.
Board Member Novak,
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman,
Yes.
Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris.
yes,
Board Member Houghton.
Yes.
Board Member Wolfle.
Yes.
And the only tricky part is Lindsay, you can circulate it as soon as he gives you the short environmental assessment form.
And the ag data statement.
Statement, yeah,
Both of
just
them.
keep it all together.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
much safer that way.
So he's got to do that right away. Sooner you do that, the more because we need those comments back from those other days, potentially, so they. Before that.
John, I won't be in the office tomorrow, but you can still bring it in.
I'll be on
Okay,
tomorrow.
okay. Just letting you know.
Okay. Regular custom. Okay, we're on to new business. That's Deanna Proctor. 1928 Western Turnpike. Sits in the C1 district, seeks a lot line adjustment to create a driveway for a landlocked parcel. So it's one here.
Indiana.
Go review what we're doing.
So back here is the landlocked parcel. And we would like to take this easement right here, straight back. So we can get the driveway in and build a house.
This is the one we.
Yeah, we did something. that
We
was-
split the front lot in
Yeah,
two, correct?
so this is what we did last time. We're doing this in segments, yes. So we did this one last time here to split off from here. The bank finally just took possession in November of that house, and that parcel. So we split that off. This is by itself and that is by itself. We were going to put everything together, but the reason being is, and I don't know if you guys have it in your notes or not, but we wanted to keep this house separate from this because eventually we'll be back in again. The existing barn and the existing metal building, I know it says wood, but the existing metal building there, we would like to put our existing business in. And then with the wood barn there, it's like old 1800 50 barn, wanted to get re-renovated, it's timber built. And I would like to run kind of what they were doing, just like a farm stand, and so basically a little homestead. So that's why we wanted to keep them separate instead of right there. Just purposes for insurance, really, business, when you go get business insurance and stuff, they don't want all that, and as is too, they already asked us to remove this to separate because they won't give us insurance on that if they're together, so we will have to separate that too. But we do want the driveway to get back so we can build a house on that part of the parcel. Again, just wanting to keep house and business separated, that's why we're not combining them together, because originally that's where we left off, we were gonna combine them. But that's why we're,
Is the back parcel like residential or is that C1 also?
I think it's also C1.
So, yeah, so that would be eventually.
I know eventually we'll have to come in,
Yeah, they get
because
a
like
special
the
use permit.
business and the
Yeah.
farm, so.
Well, no,
special
so
use.
when you build the house,
Right,
if it's a commercial lot, you have to get a special use permit.
yeah.
Build residential structure.
We'll be back.
Yeah,
And
it's fine.
all of that stuff, but that's what we wanna do, just have the driveway, and it's a straight shot back, it's 60 foot there.
Chris is gonna go check.
I don't think it is
for that.
commercial.
I think that's what the C1.
Oh, do you want, it's on the bottom of the map, you need, no,
So there's not a house currently on lot 1?
right here.
Yeah.
Nope, we actually cleared it out, it's all open land now, open, nice field. Ready to put one in, but no, there's nothing there now.
Is there any reason why they would need to come back for the special use permit for the house? Wouldn't it be better just to
Well, if it's,
do it?
I'll do it,
Yeah,
Instead of doing the modified revision through Chris, go here and do the.
well,
It'll be a special use permit. right?
Yeah,
Or
Is that what's gonna make
residential.
it
No,
easier?
I know, that's what I'm saying, so they have to change their application.
well, they would just need to add in the, you can still do the lot line revision, I'm just saying that. They're just portraying, it would be better.
If that's
from
the
a-
end vision.
Yeah,
Really
might as
comes
well
down.
just get it approved,
I
yeah.
don't know, it just says commercial C1 zone, but I don't know. That's because of that one. or-
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, it may only go back so many.
Not sure.
Then that's the case, if they adjust the lot line, now you have that road frontage, is that, then now make that lot. What's we know, or no, I think that's what it's all different, yeah.
There's the thought, no, that.
Oh, cause, yeah, if you lot.
There's
line
a
it,
portion
then
of,
it-
if it's say 100 feet or 50 feet off the road, because that's the only way to get the frontage.
Yeah.
It doesn't turn the whole lot.
Into,
It would be better just to give the special use permit and be done with it, because
Yeah.
there's been cases both ways where they treat an accessory use like a driveway, especially if it doesn't have any other purpose other than to reach the residential house, that kind of turns it into, needing an approval for that. And if we give them a special use permit, then it'll be clear that it was reviewed and approved.
That's going this way.
That's nice and easy to read.
Yeah, yeah. Get easy ones. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going back here.
Yeah.
I just know
So,
that storage.
yeah, it's on point, it's right across, it's Vermont Road and then the Scared Turnpike come out there.
Oh, okay.
So they used to have 4 horses.
Is that old horse?
So yes, it needs some love.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to give it to it,
Yeah,
but.
it's sat for a lot of years.
Yes, so we've taken
Yeah.
a couple years cleaning it out, the only thing left is a little bit of hay in there.
Yeah.
It was a serious cleanup job.
Yeah.
But we're going to, I think, ask the Amish to come take a look at it, because it's timber built. We had a couple other people come look at it, it has,
Are
but
they gonna look like dismantle it and then, Hopefully
fix it the way it sits.
Oh, okay, you're looking at repair it like.
Yeah.
Okay,
The Amish
But
did
it's
that
not
for
bad.
a lot of barns and structures after the flood in Skohair.
I mean, it's
Yeah, they
literally
Yeah.
the bench that they use to build it. It's
got all the cutouts for the
upstairs,
dowels and everything
everything
up
is
there.
there. So I would just think to
Yeah.
ask them, and
It's worth a shot.
Yeah,
It's
it's- I mean,
worth a shot.
most people would say tear it down, but it's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's from 1850. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, if anybody can save it, they can.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking. But eventually I would love to, have a little farm store in there.
Chris said it is commercial back in there too.
Oh, so it's probably.
So special use, then still okay.
You can get special use permit.
Yeah, okay.
So I guess the question for us is, we want to do a lot line adjustment, just refer it, and then come back and do the special use permit, or wait, do them all together.
Well, I guess it would be almost up to you. Do you guys want to try to do 2 steps at now, or do you want to wait and come back later?
It's gonna be easier.
well, you do the lot line just to get that done.
Yeah.
You just send us a referral back to Chris.
If you're trying to do like insurance, it probably makes sense to do lot line adjustment now, have it be 2 separate lots, and then
yeah.
you can go ahead and get the special use permit.
Yeah.
A few months when you want to do the house.
Yeah, we'll find it out.
Yes,
Okay. Yes.
Chris has got a point that we should discuss. Currently, the existing lot with the barn is an undersized lot. So by taking the driveway area off.
Oh, you're making it
smaller.
Smaller.
And how does that complicate the analysis?
Oh, yeah, you're,
Houses, so when we
It's a 1
created it, we created an illegal lot.
No, if you take off the area.
if we do a lot line adjustment now, it becomes a,
They went to the zoning board before they came with, for variance.
Okay.
Before they
So
came
this
to
would
last time.
further
Yeah.
take it, even further down.
so I'm hoping just for further down the line, the bank just got a hold of the other when we subdivided it. Once they took it to auction, no one bought it. I feel like once they finally are ready to do something or sell it, whatever they're gonna do with it, I would love to get it from them. I've been trying to get a hold of them. It's switched banks a couple of times. It's just like pulling teeth to get a hold of anybody for that house, but I would eventually love to put it all back together. Just so you know, for peace of mind, I know it changes the adjustment of the acreage for the barn and arena.
But we can't, they'd have to go to the zoning board again, right?
Yeah, they
We
would.
can't-
Well,
Unless your lot line adjustment actually absorbed some of that landlocked parcel. So that the 2 ended
Yeah.
up being, they're enough acres.
Yeah,
for
you
both
can
of them.
modify, so you would modify
The
lot
back
1, the 3.03 acres.
Oh, kind of give the 60 back to it, cause
Yeah,
that,
yeah, you got-
that's whatever is fine, because it's all gonna be.
It's
all
all gonna
baby.
end up in your hands anyway.
Right.
Right,
But then we'd have 2 lots that.
I get what you're saying,
Yeah,
so we can do that, I can call ABD and ask them to make the
Make-
correct
yeah, you
adjustment.
just gotta keep, what is it, lot 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gotta be, that area's gotta be big enough.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect,
yeah.
What's
then-
the size that they have to hit with that 2 point?
Really,
What do we
I'll
want?
just
They
jot
go
that
back-
down and I'll call
Go back to
them.
what they were approved on zoning, or go back to.
no, I think what they were approved on zoning, we're just reorganizing them.
Yeah.
So it's a 1 point.
So we're maintaining the 1.1.
We're not causing a worse situation.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And then if you do that, in terms of just the interest of time, knowing you have insurance concerns, you would come back to us in July with that new map. And then based on what we're seeing now, if you can maintain that 1.81 acres, we should be able to refer it as a lot line adjustment. It's a very simple process, so it should go pretty quickly for it.
But if you're thinking about building your house, say this summer or fall, come right back in with the special use permit.
Okay,
Okay,
just gonna
don't
get it,
wait.
yeah, get it
It
done.
takes like 3 meetings.
so you're saying
Yeah.
on the 17th, come back in to do that, when I bring back
Put-
the new map,
Yeah, well, once we get the referral,
okay,
right, once we're done with the lot line adjustment referral, so next month, we can refer it to Chris.
okay,
And once that's done, immediately put it in your special use permit, and then that way, because that takes at least,
okay,
3
so the
months.
following
Yeah.
month, not
Yeah.
on it. Okay,
yeah, because we gotta review it, then we gotta set the public hearing,
Yep.
and then
And you have to refer it to county planning.
Yeah.
Because
Can
we're
they
on
put it in
420.
for next month? The special use and we do it after?
I don't think without having the lot line, without having the lot line adjustment done first.
They need that for
Yeah.
the insurance. company.
Yeah.
I mean, and just to be clear, both of those actions, whether we look at them separately or together, are type 2 actions under secret. So there's no problem there.
Thank you.
No problem.
Do this in two shots.
And we need to see that revised map, we can't, rest of the revised map with the larger acreage,
That would,
too much.
If it's,
yeah,
you know, if that's gonna end up looking.
yeah, we really, you really
Yeah.
should see it.
Yeah.
Are you guys clear on what we're looking for?
Yep, I'll call ABD, have them give the extra 60 feet that runs along parallel along the back to
Well, it's not
confirm.
necessarily 60 feet, it's acres.
Well, that's what I mean.
Because it'll end up, I'm assuming, it's gonna be skinnier than 60 feet because you're gonna go the entire length of that.
From that point.
Whatever he took from that, give it
Yeah.
back.
Right,
Right.
Yeah, and just
So I'm
make
gonna
sure
ask
it
them
makes
to do
sense
that.
for- Think about how you wanna put your house on the property so
Yeah.
that you're not, because you have the setbacks, the lot line setbacks.
Mhm.
So don't, you know, mess up where your garage is gonna be, because now it's gonna be 3 feet off the new
Yeah.
property line.
May not have a garage.
Well, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
plan it out so that
Right.
you're not coming back with a side yard variance.
Right,
you know,
yeah.
it's too
Yes.
close.
It can be
Okay.
a triangle, cut off the corner, that lower corner can get, you get up that straight.
Anything that'll stick to that front parcel.
Right,
So
With the
Literally.
60 acres.
okay, yeah. Understood. So we bring that back for the 17th and then after that, we do the special use.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Got any questions? Chris can.
Appreciate it.
Be calling if I have questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's pretty easy.
I think, yeah, we need a motion to table the Deanna Proctor proposal until the July 17th.
It's pretty much what I said.
I'll second.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so board member Novak,
Yes.
board member Walpole,
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board member Hoffman,
Yes.
board member Howard.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Jonathan. Before us. 606 North Mansion Road.
So you guys are on your own on this one. Whiteman Osterman and Hannah does work for BBL and
Oh.
Mr. DeForest is BBL. so.
I don't think we need down this, you said.
I don't think so. I will be.
Lot line is up there. Okay, where are we here?
So I currently own property at 606 North Mansion Road. I'm purchasing the land from 184 Dwayne Lake Road. So orientate yourself. Dwayne Lake Road here, this is currently owned by Russ Huon. This is a R2 district, so a 100,000 square foot lot. We're basically creating a 100,000 square foot lot and adjoining the balance to my property here. Located the wells and the septics and maintain front, rear, side yard setbacks, make sure that we're conforming on those.
Sorry, can you point to that again? I looked down at the wrong. one.
Yep,
So that,
so this is the Q1 property as it sits right now.
Yep.
We would be carving basically out the minimum lot size for an R2 district. The septic is here, the well is there. We maintain the minimum 200-foot frontage, minimum depth, minimum side yard setbacks. And we would just be basically adjoining plus or minus 3 acres to this parcel here.
So did you originally have an access easement?
So there is an active access easement that services this property and this property here. That was recorded and it's part
And
of
your
the,
property?
and my property, yeah.
Okay, but now with you buying this property, you won't need easement anymore.
I don't, but that easement services other properties, so that would stay.
That easement transferring from one owner to another, the property that you've been buying. This is where we had our attorney. I don't know.
So actually, looking at the map, does the Dwayne Lake property? That goes. That dog leg goes away,
The dog leg.
the Dwayne Lake property,
This is currently the Dwayne Lake property here.
no, the one up on top.
Oh, the one, Dwayne Lake Road.
Dwayne Lake Road, yeah,
So Dwayne Lake Road, the current property as it sits comes up, over, down and like that.
and they're keeping frontage on North Mansion and.
They would maintain this,
Oh.
that, and that
Oh,
part.
I thought you were just keeping, on
I see.
Dwayne Lake.
All right, so that
Easement can't go away.
doesn't change.
It doesn't change.
Yeah.
Yep,
It makes it easier, okay.
yes,
All right.
Yep.
Except for maybe the little piece in the corner, right, that where it comes, it tees off to the left. That would be on his property.
This would be on my property, but the
Yeah.
easement would
but
still,
you would still
Yeah.
need it.
that, this property owner currently comes in and drives into here.
Yeah.
And it's no different. We, in 2014, from the Q-on property, we did a lot line adjustment for a quarter of an acre here. We had the same issue. That easement continued down there at that point. The easement survived and so it just continues down.
It's right up.
Okay, so this is okay.
Yeah,
Oh, so this road is the easement. Okay.
I am.
Yeah, the easement's
Yeah.
not changing.
So can we do just very realistic first? Yes. That says, please cheat sheet again, sorry. Okay. So the planning board had reviewed the Jonathan DeForest lot line adjustment. We determined that those action neither creates nor increase any significant planning issue with respect to the existing or potential future of any involved parcels. We declare the proposed and that no additional lots will be created as a result of the lot line adjustment. We declare the proposed action to be exempt for any further subdivision review pursuant to section 3.4 and refer the applicant to the code enforcement officer to complete administration of the same.
Vice Chairman Harris,
Yes.
Board Member Fountain,
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt,
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman,
Yes.
Board Member Novak,
Yes.
Board Member Walpole.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. So Chris, I'll take that for you. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. So,
Okay. Next item tonight is Kevin McHugh. Located on Route 30. Lot 3, C1 district. Okay, build a permit for a single family lot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the one.
Whipple something. Oh, it's Whipple.
Yeah.
Good, how are you?
Good.
Oh, okay, okay.
What's
Want to describe what you're thinking for us?
Yeah, we just wanted to, it's actually right around here. We wanted to build a home, retiring, moving up from the city. And, that's the hope.
So it's a lot of rate. This is all 30. Oh, 30, okay. It's gonna be right next to the small house.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, lot twos, we're gonna,
So it's a house and a commercial, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
so. Special use.
You're okay with that, there'll be commercial uses around you,
Yeah.
doesn't bother you.
I believe that on lots 4 and 5, they're actually scheduled to go residential. No, sorry, 5 and 6.
5 and 6.
5 and 6 are on.
5 and 6, which are actually over
He
here.
called me the other day.
Well, they're on the agenda for next one.
Lot
Yes.
4.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's happening with lot 4.
I haven't heard anything about lot 4 yet.
Oh.
But I mean,
Seven.
lot 2 already has an approved plan for commercial building.
The small house.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm aware of that,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, as a residential lot.
7's already present.
Mm-hmm.
That's the language back in the
That's okay.
trees.
Yeah, roll that over the younger man.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Okay. And the town has no recreation development preserving commercial lots for
Commercial use.
Yeah, exactly. No.
I mean, there's a procedure for using commercial land for residential purposes, and we do it all the time, and if it's allowed by special use permit, the way the case law goes is it's tantamount to a determination that it's okay, as long as it meets the standards, so.
And there'll be a public hearing because of the special use
Yeah.
permit, right? So they, if someone's, hey, we gotta have commercial, they can come and talk.
Absolutely, yeah. That's right.
But when we build a Dollar General on lot 4,
There's already a Dollar
there's a
General.
Dollar General going on lot 4, you know that.
Can't come in.
You can't come in and complain they're building a Dollar General on lot 4.
Across from your house.
Yeah.
I'll be over there spending dollars.
Yeah.
We did have that happen.
Yeah.
It's always the risk when you, now I'm aware that there is commercial, but the fact that I think these two have gone residential.
Yeah.
Well, they're going through the same process, they're putting their application in.
Okay.
And
Hi, neighbor.
they could ultimately not, or they build a house and sell the property and, you know, it could go back to commercial or businesses.
Right.
Well, and we're not converting. it.
Yeah,
So
right.
if you ever wanted to have a business there too, that's
Understood.
something you could do.
Okay.
Yeah. And you've got more flexibility with
Mhm.
that lot.
Yeah.
You want to sell quilts or.
The valuable thing in some respects, and it could be a.
Yeah.
You know, a nuisance.
Can't complain later on, that's where you
We get an Amazon there. Yeah.
Butchered by Dollar General.
Oh, I'm just, when everybody complains that you're gonna run a residential house on a commercial
We have
lot.
to declare ourselves the. Okay.
This is a type 2 act,
Oh.
being a single family home, right, Elizabeth?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't need to do that. We can just set a public hearing if you're.
I'll make a motion to set the public hearing for the July 17th meeting for the Kevin McHugh special use permit for a residential home on a lot within a subdivision.
You could just use the SBL.
For the SBL parcel 64.00-1-35.
Second.
Okay, board member Hoffman,
Yes.
board member Walpole,
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board member Houghton,
Yes.
board member Nova.
Yes.
On July 17th.
Okay.
Is
Is there anything I need to do in the meeting?
It would be good to show the lot and where you're gonna put the house, the driveway and the septic.
Approximate.
Yeah, of course. I did that already on a survey I turned in. You know, the paper that I gave you, Lindsay? The surveys I gave you?
Big maps.
The big maps. That's all.
Yeah. That's what,
You wrote on them?
yeah, I drew it in pen. There's so many lines on it, it's kind of hard to tell. There's a thing.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll come to those.
I didn't even see it. Still in it.
Okay.
Have to have your septic, you know, good way to.
Yeah. Yep.
Don't mind the building permit process.
That would be for the building permit,
Yeah.
but for our purposes here.
Permission from the board.
Yeah, if I get permission from the board, then we'll.
We got other steps.
On July 17th, there'll be a meeting. We'll invite the neighbors 500 feet around, 1,000 feet around. They may have a question for you and
Okay,
you can act, we'll have a discussion and then hopefully we can forward next steps after that.
okay.
But we're just gonna need this information, the house, the well, the septic, and the proposed driveway, like actually on the map to scale.
Potential locations, so
Yeah.
just to show. where-
So it would need to be done professionally by the surveyor?
I mean, that's how we normally. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And can it be done on one this size or just isolate that lot? And do it just specific?
You
to
can just
the-
show you that lot, yeah.
You can take the same drawing, you already set that one.
Yeah.
And put it on there, or you can zoom in,
Does,
pull it up.
did you see the scale?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because it'll all be a guess,
It's just to show
That's
that
not-
everything will fit
okay.
on the lot, which it will.
The lot is 25
Plenty
acres,
big.
so, yeah.
But it just have to.
You have to prove it.
Yeah, yeah. And that's part of the application process. I mean, the
Well, because the septic isn't designed, we don't really know how extensive it's.
No, but you can show that a wall of something can fit in there.
That'll fit. It's
Yeah.
just to see if it'll fit, just to make sure it'll fit.
Yeah.
Which we know.
Which you will.
We all will.
Okay,
It's supposed to.
It's just,
but that, what I did there is not accepted.
can't draw it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have them put it on there.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Moving forward. We have Sarah Page. Lot 6 and lot 5, actually, so we can do both at the same time, I guess. They're contiguous lots, so.
Number 5?
It's the same person.
Yes.
You're gonna build 2 houses or 1 house?
Well, two. So there's Wayne Page and Barbara Page, who serves our daughter, and she couldn't be here from Albuquerque, so we are here for her. Can we get her on the phone in case you have questions that we can answer?
Yes, absolutely. That's
Okay.
no problem.
Okay.
If I don't have. Insurance, so.
Services.
But, so I have a good idea of what the plans are.
Maybe we can start, and then if we have
Yeah,
questions, we
yeah.
may not have any questions.
There's going to be a big lift on this, it's just, again, locate the house, so that there's separation from the property lines.
Which one's for you and which one's for your daughter?
They're all for her, but she's building them all,
Oh,
Okay.
and she's building an in-law.
That's the accessory dwelling.
Yeah,
unit.
accessory,
Yes.
yes.
ADU,
And then the other lot is just a single family.
yes. And the other lot had placements in this area for driveway, house, septic and well.
Which might be.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is 5.
Yep. 5 and 6.
Sorry, do lots and shit,
Yeah.
yeah, they're basically, they're gonna build on both.
Yeah.
Well, I do have Sarah on the phone if you have any questions.
Okay, great.
And I don't know if you got the perk test done on each lot. I don't know if you've got those documents yet.
You won't get those from,
We need a special use permit.
I have printouts. Would you like them?
no, we don't need that. That's more for the
We're
building.
getting
Special
yeah.
permits for 6.
yes, believe it or not.
Is it
Yes.
residential and commercial?
You went under 1?
Yeah, so it's for two read.
So we'll just revise the application for lots next time.
So the Accessory dwelling unit is for you guys.
So on lot 6 is where the plan is in building in this area. Yeah, here. And the plan is for the ADU. Eventually, we would live there.
That's what we're saying is on the application for lot 6. Include. The ADU as part of that, that way it's one application.
Yes.
Takes care of both
There's one here.
the residential structure on a commercial lot and the ADU.
And the ADU.
Yes.
Yes, not six.
So that one, when you get your well designed and your septic design, you have to make sure that you have the capacity for both the residential unit and the accessory unit, so. It's gonna be bigger when you have your well test done, and you've got to show the capacity for 2 residential structures. Not just one.
Okay.
Only a thought, and something wrong with it, but the distance back you are, it looks like you probably have a very long driveway. And we would need it like.
It's all- it's all off the
No, it's
Youngs
off
So
the
on-
Youngs there.
on
I'm
this-
sorry.
yeah.
That's the driveway, thank you. All right. Never mind, forget that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Check that for the
we
record.
gotta be sure to refer this to the county, you know,
I think
because, and counties, just make sure. They give us trouble whenever we approve driveways on Youngs Road, don't they? Because they had some idea that they were gonna retire it.
Youngs Road? No.
Was
No, that's
was
a
that-
different one.
No, that's, that's the one,
Yeah,
that's lot 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Is that the Mexico?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mexico, Mexico. Yeah, okay.
so is
But it would
Youngs
be-
Road the one with the great
Yes.
big?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, just be careful.
We're not retiring that road
No.
They were gonna retire the section between Dollar General and
Yeah.
30.
That's
Oh,
what- that's what.
yeah, that makes sense.
But to your point, Teresa, they're gonna need curb cut on county roads.
Yeah.
Coordination, yeah.
Yeah. You should call the county and share the plan with them and see if they're okay with the driveway location.
Okay.
Okay.
There's something else right across.
Yeah.
Just the road from where they're driving.
That should be fine.
And I think same as the previous one, we want to see the house. You know, and this driveway and the septic all drawn in by a surveyor or an architect or an engineer.
Okay.
Pretty simple. Yeah. Potential location again, not final.
Okay.
I think so, yeah, we can set the whole for this one, well, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to set the Sarah Page special use permit request located SBL 64.00-1-38 on Route 30. And we'll set the public hearing for July 17th.
And that's a special use permit to construct a.
Single family dwelling
And
and
And-
an accessory dwelling unit.
just want to make sure it gets in the notice.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Single family. Board member Novak,
Yes.
board member Hoffman,
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board member Houghton,
Yes.
board member Wong.
Yes.
And I will make a recommendation to set the public hearing on July 17th for Sarah Page. Residential unit in a commercial or residential use in a commercial property for the property at SBL 64.00-1-37. Lot 5. So that,
6. Board member Hoffman,
yes.
board member Houghton,
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board member Novak,
Yes.
board member Wong.
Yes.
Did we say something wrong? You just.
Oh, just relaying it back.
We're gonna need the maps, the drawings, 10 days before July 17th. July 10th. We'll go to those here so that follows.
If she has questions, she can call us.
Yeah, all right, we'll get it there.
Thank you. And Chris, don't they need ag data statements? I think this
Yes.
is still in the ag district.
Yeah,
I'm not-
because of Florio's still in ag district.
Okay.
So we'll do that.
And did we tell Kevin
No.
he needed an ag data statement?
No.
So Lindsay, do you mind calling him?
Yeah, I can do it Monday.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
we're not, but you got plenty of time to do the referrals to Steve, I think.
Yeah.
So Sarah needs to get what? An agricultural data statement. Agricultural data statement. For each of the lots. For each of the lots. So Lindsay can send her what she needs to fill out.
Yeah, it's actually right on the application she filled out, it's the second sheet, so she should have it already, but I can resend it. Okay,
It's in the second sheet. Okay, thank you.
If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call. She's control of everything.
It's trying.
She's got all the.
She's an hour.
lined up.
Sarah's probably already talked.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
said you were a big help. yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Great.
I'm
All right,
learning.
so we'll see you
Slowly.
on July 17th.
Great. Thank you very much.
Good. Have a good summer.
Thanks. Good.
Next on the agenda was the other, and we have, Mr. Sir. Not really wants to address the board, so.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to come and address the board today. So. Last time, which was a while back. I believe the religious institution was tabled. You guys requested a licensed professional architect to give you documentation that the site was in compliance. That was, Chris gave me a nice email saying he wanted a licensed architect. So Chris wrote to New York State Code saying, hey, what does this gentleman have to do? And they said, hey, a licensed professional engineer or architect, either acceptable. And your town attorney wrote a nice letter saying, I don't need a licensed architect. So we hired a licensed engineer. And what the licensed engineer did was what codes asked them to do, which was with the 2020 building code, go into it for the provisions in the 2020 building code for a change of occupancy and see what was needed. So my proposed project is currently have a structure on the property rated for assembly 2. So we want it to be rated for both assembly 2 and assembly 3. We have other structures in the town of Williamsburg, multi-rated. Religious institutions that have multiple rated. So the licensed engineer went through and did a full analysis between assembly 2 and assembly 3. And assembly 2, which is currently rated, is a higher rating than assembly 3. He put that in there. Everything you need to be assembly 3 is covered by assembly 2. Assembly 2 has extra things where the number of people you can have in for sprinkler is at 100, where assembly 3 is at 300. There's other things. Now, New York State Code Department, and we've been going back and forth, and Chris has provided me stuff he got from Code Department, and I provide the stuff that I got from Chris. They went in, the Code Department said, a cursory review of the 2020 existing code, work area compliance methods provisions for a change of occupancy indicate that an alteration would generally not be required except when the occupancy significantly increases the load of the building's existing facilities. So they're talking about toilets there. Now, currently, on the site, there are 6 toilets and 1 urinal hooked up to the sewer district. That's enough for a rating of 600 people. Because the structure is tagged with assembly 2 at this time, it can only be rated for 99. So we have 6 times the bathroom facilities needed. So the structural engineer said, hey, you're good to go. So in addition to that, Teresa had 8 other concerns she thought that were deficient about the site plan application. So would you let, I submitted supporting documentation that all her 8 concerns were non-relevant, and we were supported by DEC, County Health Department, and Code Department, with the exact codes and everything saying, we're good to go. If you give me a minute, I'd just like to go through the 8 concerns. Is that okay, Jeff? Just tell you how I addressed
Where the 8, I don't know where it was, the 8 concerns.
the letter from your attorney,
Which,
February 13th,
Yeah.
2024.
all right, I don't see what was the 8.
But she went in there and said there was 8 things missing, and that
Oh, is it just the verbiage of that? Okay.
I went through them. I might have the number off. But it took a long time to get all the supporting documentation. Real quick, the first one, the timber frame needs to meet New York State building codes and cannot be used during winter unless insulated, heated and insulated. So your code enforcement officer actually wrote the code and says, does the building need to be heated and insulated? And the answer is, I have to provide some kind of heat between September 15th and May 15th, it's gonna be used. And if I'm gonna insulate it, it's gotta be a code. Now, it doesn't have to be insulated, heated, it's gotta be heated. Now, I wrote an email.
It's gotta be the energy code, does it not?
If I insulate it, it's gotta be an energy code. If I just heat it, because it can only be used 60 days a year, it doesn't have to meet energy code. But
Basic. I've never.
What do you mean it
Well-
only has to be used?
okay, the building's limited to 60 days a year, correct?
But it, not anymore. Once it becomes a religious institution, all of those
Okay, so let me explain.
things go away.
It's still limited to 60 days a year, no matter what.
Why?
Okay, one of the concerns Teresa had is it has to have public water. It has to meet public water, so, and
Before, I think this is the problem, Joe, is we
Yeah.
asked for this information
okay,
in not verbally in a meeting. We've asked for this information to say, here's what the building is. This is what I would like to do. Here's all the codes that need to be followed, A, B, C, D, E,
So-
all of these items. Does it meet it? Does it not meet it? If it does meet it, okay. If it doesn't meet it, this is how we're gonna mitigate it. And we have yet to receive that information.
so,
So let's just
Let me-
stop and just say, do we have a code plan?
okay, so,
So, do you, I'm not looking at a code plan. Do you know do you understand what
I
an
understand.
architectural code plan, I don't care that it's an architect or any licensed engineer, either one can do it. But they put together a code plan, right? It shows the building rate usage, right? It shows the assembly types, it shows egress, it shows the energy code it means, all this stuff is on a code plan, that's what we're asking for.
okay, so. According to New York State codes, what I have to do is to add, it's assembly 2 already, so it meets assembly 2. By New York State codes 2020. Chris has signed off on it. If it doesn't meet it, he can come up and whatever it needs to meet. So it meets 2020 building code. I said I wasn't going to use it as a religious institution between September 15th and May 15th. I sent that in an email. So that takes care of all the energy code.
Yeah, but I don't think we can say like, we're gonna use a building for certain times of the year and then change.
I don't think so either.
We're limited by the health department for 60 days.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's why.
So. It's the same limitations that was put on the last church you guys passed. They are limited to 60 days. The last church that was passed is limited to 60 days a year because they don't have public water. It's a limitation on other churches, but the last one you passed. That
I don't know
Elizabeth,
what he's referring to.
Williamsburg Presbyterian Church.
Referring to the county requirement, it's the county public water supply. Remember when we did the Dollar General, and the Dollar General had to put in a well that met certain requirements because it's gonna have people there and they could drink or flush toilets or whatever. It's the same type of permit. And they determine the county, the same guy, Dominic, I think, who does the subject.
Dominic and Jennifer.
Dominic and Jennifer determine what facilities need to have those permits. It's not something that the town does, it's
So,
something.
but
that the
I don't know
county
what,
does.
I mean, I haven't been on the board all that long, but we haven't. approved the church. I don't know what he's referring to.
Elizabeth.
He's referring
He's,
to,
he's
2000.
what
talking,
application he's referring to.
he's
Okay.
talking about it really has nothing to do with churches. It has to do with, non-community water supplies. And that is where you're gonna have a certain number of people, a certain number of days a year, you need to get your well approved by the county. And you have to do like water quality.
My understanding is when you do a private well for a public water supply, if it's under 25 people, I believe, then you don't have to go to a public water supply.
And it's also time duration.
Yeah.
It's both of
But
those
in
things.
this case, he's going to have a building that has 100 people, so. How would you not need a public
Matt.
water supply?
He could not need a public water supply if somehow there was an enforceable limitation on the number of days a year he could operate.
So, Matt.
So.
Matt, give me a minute.
But
Okay.
if you want, you do have an engineer available to you that the town uses. There's 3 engineers that have been, pre-approved, if you will. And we send out and we ask them to give an estimate, and then we typically go, unless there's some unique, like the solar project.
But right now, we have nothing to review.
So,
Yeah, it's
Well, but the questions that you're asking are questions that an engineer could answer for the town.
Yeah.
And it may be the only way to ascertain or get to the point where it's possible to understand, what approvals are necessary for the project.
Michael,
That's
can I answer your
that's
question?
up to the planning board, whether you would like to do that or not.
You're saying you're not getting all the things you normally get for the building to be built. This is a pre-existing building, according to New York State code.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
and we're only asking for an additional use. It should have been rated A3 to begin with, but it's not, it was rated A2. So New York State codes said, we're not building a building. We're not building to 2020 standards. This was built to 2019 standards. We don't have to, according to New York State codes. What we have to do is apply the code of what it takes to add an assembly rate. We're not building a building.
so it's fine. So I'm looking at a drawing right now from a project of mine, right?
Yeah.
So I'm building an addition onto an existing structure,
That is true.
right? So same thing, right? It's an existing building. They still have a code plan that shows the occupancy use. It shows all the information related to, occupancies, egresses, requirement, all that stuff. That's what we're requesting.
We're not building.
It
We're not-
doesn't matter if you're building.
If I build an addition, I
No,
have to.
no, so what you do is we'll take the plan, your engineer, I'm not saying it's gonna be an architect. Your engineer, whoever you've hired, your design professional, can put together a plan that shows the building. Right, they're gonna do a scale drawing of the building, and it's gonna have all that information onto a code plan.
It shows how it complies with.
Yes.
And
And I'm welcome.
then once we have that, then we can hire a TV.
Yeah,
I'm willing to-
Review the information that he presented to us to make sure that it's accurate and complete. And or meets all the different components
Yeah.
of the codes.
I'm willing to pay for the retainer, for your engineer to talk to my engineer.
That's not how it
That's not
works.
what we're asking for.
It's not how it works, Joe. You've got to submit the relevant information for us
Okay,
to
so-
review.
I've got 8 items. I've submitted the relative information, signed off by the engineer. And backed up by DEC, Health Department, and codes. All that documentation has been provided to you. The 8,
You provided a letter that says we did a site review. That's fine, that's great, that you
Okay.
did that, but you gotta put it together in.
we gave you all the supporting documentation for the
Jeff,
first
as
one.
far as I'm concerned, Jeff.
Can I ask for a
I-
sketch plan?
we-
Sketch
we
plan review
asked
first?
The information, we requested the information, and the applicant doesn't want to provide the information
I
requested.
would like to request a sketch plan review first. That's provided by town code. We went through all this last time. When we went to get it assembly two. So everything we gave you for assembly two, for the building blueprints and everything else was provided.
Completely different use though.
No, it's an add-on use, which is less restrictive. It's less restrictive.
But it's a change of use.
That's it.
And it's a change in use, and you would, I believe it's a change in use, and when you do a change in use, you have to do the current code, you have to change. And make sure that the building, when you're changing the use, has to conform to the current code, not the old code.
Yeah, and the last plan that we approved, at least the last time you're in here, we're not using the same buildings in the same way, because now 218, which was contingent on the use of that as a bed and breakfast to support the use of that parcel, is now, the last I remember, that's now a rectory or something else. So there is more information we need to find out on how the whole area is being.
Okay, the two other houses. Number one, you have religious institutions that have their church, they have their banquet hall, and they have rental houses on the property. So. Sure. With no change, so there's residential structures, there's no change there. We don't have to get any code compliance or anything with that.
But that's the way that all these buildings were approved before in the wedding venue or the venue. Was using that so you could access that parcel for the whole use. Now it being a rectory negates that.
Parsonage house, not residential, the residential, yeah, so
when you say
And
there's six toilets and a urinal, are you including the ones in 218? Or are you saying there's 6 toilets in the one?
okay, so with the bathroom facilities. If you exclude the two residentials, there's 3 toilets and 1 urinal. That's enough for 600 to 300 people. We're only rated for 100.
Yeah.
They're not
This is
in the
type
barn.
of information
They're not-
that we need to understand,
Okay.
how all of these different things in 2 different parcels are coming into play.
And it's
One person.
not verbal here, it has to be shown on a set of plans, that's all.
That is signed by.
You just provide the information, Joe, and we will put you on a I would recommend if we get the information, Jeff, that he be put on a meeting, but until then, we have nothing to look at. And other than this back and forth.
Hey, Joe, on the code issue, all we had is a letter from Father and Sons Engineering, that said he did a code sweep and everything is good.
Yeah, which is fine, that's a good, I mean, I'm glad that they did that,
Yeah.
but now they gotta take that information and put it into.
Yeah,
A plan.
what constitutes the code sweep? What exactly did the guy do? It's like, yeah, I inspected your facility, fine. Where's the inspection report? I itemized each one of the codes.
According to New York State Code Department, you have to do a code comparison between Assembly 2 and Assembly 3 in the code. And if there's any differences, you have to address it. There are no differences.
You need to put the detail down. S3 requires a 75-foot egress and S3 requires an 80-foot egress. And you show that you comply and show egress back. You say I need a fire alarm at each exit. You show that you have a plan, you have a fire alarm at each exit. You show that you have, I don't know, there's a slope going in because of ADA accessibility, 1%. You have to show that, and you go line by line and show how you comply with each section of the code. Do not just write a blanket statement saying it's code compliant. You need the detail to show it.
They'll show, so
That's
they'll
what
show,
we're missing.
they'll show occupancy, they're gonna show trap, like, so if I think on my goal plan right here, right? It's gonna show you the max travel distance for egress to show that it meets, that you have proper emergency egress, for the office.
Like you said, with the bathrooms, it's gonna say, I've got an occupancy of 99 people,
I
I need 2 bathrooms.
Seated by.
Okay.
And here they are, this
It's
is
the
how.
same exact information I supplied before, if there's no difference in the code.
It's-
But you're changing the uses, and we, in terms of showing due diligence for the town, as the planning board, we need the documentation. So it's very
Okay,
clear
right.
for all of us.
So if you presented the information previously, like you just said, take that document you presented previously, update it for S2 and S3, show that comparison and resubmit it. If you've already got it, they'll take an engineer.
We didn't do that last time.
I'm sorry,
We didn't do any of that last time to make it A2.
didn't you just say you submitted all that last time?
We submitted everything you wanted to make it, to show that it was rated for Assembly 3. None of this was done for that.
It comes to be a piecemeal, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So,
And I thought you were saying the current structure is rated as assembly 2.
I'm sorry, it's just rated assembly 2.
Yes, so now you won't be rating assembly 3
I want assembly 2 and 3.
and 3, okay. So
And
I
there's-
think, and you're acknowledging that you're changing uses. So regardless of what you submitted before, we need to understand and have documentation to support the fact that it's within.
Let me meet with an engineer. Let me see what I can do.
It sounds like he's done it. It's just a matter of presenting the information.
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
Okay, let me ask you one more question. Once we get this taken care of, I want to do a separate building, say a timber frame structure. After I submit this first site plan, do I have to come back to you or just go to Chris? I want to add another building on the
That's a
property.
hypothetical question, so that's pretty open-ended. Yeah.
And I mean, we're gonna need to know what the grand plan is, because then, I mean, you're just. This is like segmentation on how we keep coming back with different iterations.
So if you're planning that now.
No,
Okay,
right now. Research I've done, if I do a pavilion. 2020 building code would require a bathroom in it. And it would have to be rated for assembly 2, which means sprinklers. And I'm just pointing that out because another institution in town, Williamsburg, just got a permit. They're constructing a pavilion, which according to building code is the same thing. According to the letters we provided, your board would need a bathroom, it doesn't have a bathroom. So
What does that have to do with?
absolutely
anything,
nothing.
Joe?
I was
Then why are you even talking about?
because we were planning the second building, I was putting all the provisions in. Gentlemen, number one, Jeff, I wasted enough of your time tonight. Thank you very much. Chris, anytime you want to come inspect the property, you're more than welcome. Okay,
Got it.
I appreciate everybody's time.
thank you.
We will be moving forward with this project.
Is it clear what we're asking for? I just want to make sure you understand what we're asking for, just to keep things moving along.
So you want all the documentation, which is should have been exactly the same for assembly 3. To be tacked on to the assembly 2.
I think we're asking for something a bit more specific. I think we're asking for.
Right, so I think if you go back to your design engineer, right, and say. They are looking for a code plan, they will know what that means.
Okay.
They will know what that means.
I was hoping by,
If they're a engineer that practices in the.
So the reason why we said architect is typically building structure is done by an architect, usually. You know, a site civil doesn't do building, I mean, doesn't mean that they can, but that's not typical, that usually when it comes into building occupancy and things, that's usually done by an AIA.
I was hoping to find that in the previous one that was done in 2009 for the church. There was no such thing. Everything we did as far as Superior. So I was hoping for a stamp like the my engineer of what the town is required to do. So I appreciate your time, Michael. Okay? We will be back for persistence. We actually have a gentleman with 60 people that would like to use this on Sundays for religious services. So the 8 things that were requested in our letter, I don't need to provide those to back of the board, correct? And
Also, we have to provide the code scrub.
Okay, but-
For the building.
the code scrub, so these 8 things that were requested are not required.
Those all have to do with the code compliance issues. Has to do with energy code, has to do with water usage, that's all part of the code scrub.
Okay. So,
If they were all done, it would be very easy to compile the responses to those issues that they haven't responded to.
so if you get a chance to look through all 8 issues that were addressed in that letter were non-relevant according to the state. They want, I'm being told I need to have the thing for over an acre from ENCON provided to you. That's not correct, right? And
Are you talking about a slip?
yeah,
Well, it depends on.
Whether the service.
No idea,
Yeah.
Okay, so-
What you need.
in the letter it says I need a SWIFT.
we don't have a plan.
Okay, the plan that's on the board shows less than an acre. If I'm less than an acre, I don't need a SWIP.
So. Stormwater pollution control.
Yeah. The letter we got from Teresa said you got 40 parking spots. Somebody calculated I was over an acre, I need a SWIP.
Well,
That was based off the map that he showed us with all the parking.
yeah, yeah, and if that's what you're proposing. And that's what you have, then you would.
Again, that's part of the
Okay.
code scrub. It's gonna tell you how many parking spaces you need, the type of
The map shows that
coverage that it is. And your engineer is gonna have to fit that amount of parking spots on your plan, and if it adds up to over an acre, then you're gonna
yeah,
need to
so we've got
switch.
75 and it's less than an acre, so I'm just
You
wondering,
don't have 75 right now,
74 on the plan.
they're in grass.
Oh, they're rather,
So again, these are all the things you've got to go through on your
I
plan.
know, we went through the plan, just. I'll leave it. Look through the documentation I provided you, okay? We don't need bathrooms in the building, we don't need a SWIFT. We're doing no plan, we're not gonna touch the building, we're not gonna add anything. I appreciate your time, Jeff. Thank you, Chris, I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
Okay,
We're gonna get a table.
all right, next item is minutes approval from May 15th.
Was that, sure we don't need to work with another.
Some other, we don't have to take any action on that, Teresa. It's not.
I would just table it, just so
I
it's.
make a motion to table the Joseph Smith Religious Institution until the next meeting. That's.
Yeah, I say continue based on. See if it's.
I'll second.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt.
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman.
I was like a number. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Board Member Walpole. Board Member Walpole.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was saying, like, I read through some letter like 4 times.
You're very literal, you're very literal, yeah. Yes. So. That's,
Yeah, I was just saying, like, you know, like.
Just so I'm not crazy, in the email that he has attached to his application, which is an email he got of your communication with codes. Doesn't it say there has to be bathrooms in the building?
So they don't specify bathrooms in the building. What it does say is they have to be, where is it?
Is that accessible bathroom?
It's gotta be within 500 feet on the same, floor. It gives you the code, but the one that got me was the one where I asked the question, it's right in your, on your thing, I just pointed out to Jeff. Does it need to meet energy code requirements? It says if the structure is utilized between September 15th and May 31st, a heating system is required. If they are conditioning the space, the new use must conform to the commercial provisions of the 2020 energy conservation. Act.
New York State will not allow you to furnace it.
That's the whole point of the energy code, right? They're not gonna have you, say, if you're putting a source of heat in or cooling, the building's gotta be energy compliant.
Read the next one. Do the bathrooms need to be inside the barn church?
Yes.
See building code, section 2902 point, I can't even read
It
it.
says, yeah, but did you see what it says? The toilet facilities are required to be on the same floor or 1 story above or below. There's nothing in the code that says that.
That's the same building.
Yeah.
That means the same building.
But I did ask the codes guy, and he said that the code should be more. It doesn't
It
say
doesn't specifically,
whether it has to be in the building now.
but
Well,
that's,
no, it says the toilet facilities are required to be on the same floor.
Yeah.
Or 1 story
But
above
above or
Which
or
would
below.
mean it has to be in the same building.
They have
Yes.
that,
Yeah, so it
yeah.
basically comes down to the interpretation there.
There's no
And-
interpretation.
Well,
it's
that's
the same.
what the-
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying for it to be.
There,
well, it's the same floor, it's the same elevation.
Yeah.
Because he's a civil engineer, he's not a.
so we had a meeting with Mr. Sir that his attorney was on the phone. And he committed in that meeting not to come back without his engineer and without his attorney. And I have tried to reach out to his attorney, and I'm not getting any calls back. So I don't know what to say. I just think it's impossible.
Yeah, again, I can't move forward, I mean, That's what I'm saying. Even if you have an AIA.
Yeah. And I know RTE's, Doug Cole, Dave Ingles, and who is the third?
Was it Bartman with Judas?
I wouldn't, none of those.
Doug Cole came out.
Doug does architectural stuff?
No, it's KB Engineering and Architecture.
Okay.
They used to be Prime AE and the
Yeah.
state made them change their name to reflect them.
Okay.
All right, let's move on.
Yes. Yeah, we got.
Minutes approval.
You gotta
Minutes
get-
approval. Anybody have any comments on the May 15th minutes?
No.
No comments? Lindsay gets a straight A again.
Yeah. Let's see a comment.
Says tablets and minutes. Okay,
So I can make a motion to approve the planning board meeting minutes for May 15, 2025.
Second that.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Houghton.
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt.
yes.
Board Member Hoffman.
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
Board Member Walpole.
Yes.
So we have a lot of public hearings scheduled for next year.
I promise I won't miss them.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Yeah, motion to adjourn.
Second. Board Member Hoffman.
Yes.
Board Member Houghton.
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
Board Member Walpole.
Yes.
And the tablets are fabulous.
They are wonderful.
I told Krista